It can't be found by seeking, but only seekers will find it. From the moment we're born, something deep inside pushes us to cry out for our mother's breast, a loving touch, a strong arm to rock us and soothe us. We're always seeking. We seek to feel safe, loved, warm. In a word, we seek a state of peace. At first, our mother is enough for us, but lasting peace is part of the mystery. It can never be found in the world of appearances. Soon we come upon toys, games, friends, new kinds of food, and on and on. Everybody just wants to feel good, and we keep reaching for anything that might do the trick. Yet the more things we discover, the hungrier we seem to be for still more. Every joint smoked, every drink drunk, every pill popped, every crime committed is just to get some relief, just to feel good, to feel safe or powerful. It's like going crazy from a toothache without knowing what to do about it. We blindly grope around in pain, and some people do it more violently than others. Perhaps the most important realization of our whole lives is when it finally hits us that nothing we ever get, see, taste, smell, touch, hear, or think about is going to bring us the peace we really seek. This is what the Buddha called his first noble truth. We tend to fight against this natural law, so we suffer more and more. There are some people who get all the power, success, fame, or riches they thought they wanted, and instead of being happy, they soon destroy themselves. We don't have to look very far for examples. Elvis Presley, Freddie Prinze, John Belushi, Judy Garland, Marilyn Monroe, Lenny Bruce, Jimi Hendrix, Billie Holiday. The list could go on for pages. What clearer reminder do we need that if we're not at peace with ourselves, then we're all doing time in one kind of prison or another. Sitting in the hole in Attica or Joliet or Santa Fe, it's hard to imagine that some swinging millionaire in a Beverly Hills mansion could possibly be suffering as much, but it's true. In fact, that uptown suffering is often worse because their minds can't come up with as many excuses for being so miserable, for why life is so unbearably painful. But excuses are just that, excuses. Making excuses gets to be our way of life if we don't watch out. In prison, for example, most people tend to exaggerate about how wonderful life on the streets was, or else they fantasize about how great it's going to be the next time out. But truthfully, if life on the streets was so great, then why is everybody in the joint? And why do so many ex-cons wind up back in prison within a year or two? The truth is, life everywhere is very hard because we're holding so much pain from being out of balance. Like it or not, the big truth has to be approached from all the smallest truths about ourselves. The journey into the great mystery has to begin by solving all the dull, practical mysteries of our lives, like why we keep making the same kinds of choices which hurt us time after time. The journey into these mysteries is easy to put off for a million different reasons, but a prisoner actually has a particular head start in a way. He or she has already had the most common reasons stripped away by the government. Can't take the time, have to work too hard, have to support my family, have to keep up my social image. For the prisoner who gets tired of making excuses, incarceration could be turned into the best spiritual break of a lifetime. One common excuse in prison life is that the spiritual trip turns us into suckers, that if we get into peace, love, truth, we lose our street smarts and we get taken advantage of by everyone else. But actually, that couldn't be further from the truth. Whether in prison or business or college or anywhere else, we become a hell of a lot sharper when we look at life more clearly and when we can see ourselves more honestly. A medicine chief said, "If you seek to understand the whole universe, you will understand nothing at all. If you seek only to understand yourself, you will understand the whole universe." Obviously, somebody who understands the whole universe is going to be pretty savvy in dealing with the dudes in the next cell block. So it makes sense to begin looking into our own true nature, which is what every spiritual tradition has told us to do. Then no matter what happens, we've always got the house advantage, because we're living in tune with the house rules of the universe. To live with the house advantage, the main rule we need to appreciate is called the law of karma. In the Bible, the way it's put is, as you sow, so shall you reap. The way it's said in prison is, what comes around goes around. Every thought, word, and deed is a seed which we plant in the world. All our lives, we harvest the fruit of those seeds. If we plant desire, greed, fear, anger, and doubt, then that's what will fill our lives. Plant love, courage, understanding, good humor, and that's what we get back. This isn't negotiable. It's a law of energy, just like gravity. Even more often, karma is hard to follow because it's not so immediate. Time goes by between an action and its karmic reaction. If I set an alarm clock for 10 hours from now, I may forget all about it and then be startled when it goes off. Yet I set it with my own hand. All through our lives, we're either slipping on banana peels, flipping switches with unseen wires, or setting alarms that we forget about or don't even know about as we're setting them. A kindness that we think went unnoticed, or something rotten that we hoped would disappear. Nothing ever falls through the cracks. What comes around goes around. In truth, we, everybody and everything in the universe, are all connected. Most of us just can't see the glue. Because of this basic connection, anything we think or do which creates a feeling of separateness causes more karma, because we're going against truth, against the natural flow of reality. Working out karma is simply the process of undoing our own ignorance in order to get back into step with nature. For example, let's say I make fun of somebody who's crippled. The only way I could do that is if I felt no connection between us. So at some time in the future, my karma might be to become crippled or to marry or give birth to someone crippled, not as a punishment, but simply to allow me to open my heart to someone in a crippled body, to allow me to undo the separateness I created in the first place. It's as if I ran an ad in the Teachings Wanted section of the Spiritual Classifieds for an experience to show me that we're all just us. There's no them. Because karma works this way to help each of us gain wisdom and compassion, it looks a lot like punishment and reward, but it isn't really. It's more like magnetism. It's just the way energy works. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, gets to be more of a scientific truth than a moral preaching. When Christ says, love thy neighbor as thyself, he's simply telling it like it is. We are all connected, and he can see the glue. The world we live in is really not very big. It's a closed space. Just as our pollution doesn't disappear or go away, neither do our bad actions or even our thoughts. Neither do our actions or even our thoughts, whether good or bad. Each moment counts. Each of us has total responsibility for lightening the karmic load of this sweet, pretty little planet. And each of us has the power to do so every moment of every day. Everything that happens to us in life has two purposes at once. For example, going to prison is paying karmic dues for things we came here to learn or things we've done in the past, not necessarily the crime itself. But going to prison is also one more opportunity to come closer to truth, God, self, freedom, whatever we want to call it. Prison life is so negative and intense. Prisoners sometimes get the chance to work out karma and build strength in a period of months that might have taken 50 years on the streets if they could have done it at all. What a blessing. The bottom line is that we create our own curses or blessings. Every experience comes to us spiritually neutral, no matter what it looks like from the mouse's view. If we can accept our karma without shame, pride, bitterness, or regret, then some old dues get paid, and at the very same time, we've been given a chance to increase our strength, love, and wisdom. It's not important to waste our time trying to analyze the karmic causes and effects of things that happen to us. Too many of the wires and switches and alarms are hidden. If I get a big package in the mail from some company thousands of miles away and I have no idea how they got my name or what they're all about, the only sensible thing to do is open the package and do whatever feels right at the time. Same with karma. No need to look into a crystal ball or go to a psychic to see why such and such happened and then such and so on. We just have to look through every day's mail, all the experiences of our lives, and handle it all without getting lost in speculation over the past. Once we understand karma, we begin to have more understanding and compassion for other people's trips. We see that we're all just beautiful children of God who have developed these stash bags of karma by the choices we've made, and we're all working through our karma as best we can. Our stash bags are each unique. No two people have exactly the same karma, yet the journey, working it all out, is basically the same for all of us. As we become more aware or conscious of the whole process, we tend to cooperate more and more with the law of karma, and our stash bags get noticeably lighter. We become conscious beings, people who act in harmony with the truth in everything we do, from brushing our teeth to planning our lives. We do what feels right rather than what feels easiest. It's quite a relief. The very end of our karmic journey, when we've completely lightened the burdens in our karmic stash, is called enlightenment. We become like God and walking around in a body. Every thought, word, and deed is in truth and creates no sense of separateness in the world. Christ, Buddha, and many others reached this state. They became so united with truth that they ceased to create any karma at all, that they were 100% part of nature with no resistance to the way life works best. But the punchline of it all is that we must all become enlightened. Saint or murderer, president or bank robber, each of us is on the same journey, the same process of wholeness, and we will eventually go all the way to the end. Whether today, next year, or 100,000 lifetimes from now, each of us will come to a point where we're tired of exploiting and being exploited, tired of looking out for number one, slipping on banana peels, setting alarms, tired of constantly creating more karma. At that point, help magically arrives. It may come through spiritual practices like yoga and meditation, or by meeting friends on the path, or seeing an inspiring sunset, or just reading something like this. But in whatever form it comes, help does come. It may not be help for what we want, but it'll help bring us the tools and experiences we need. From that moment on, our lives may seem much the same as ever, yet there's an added feeling of peace or security that comes from playing with the house advantage. We may still have fears and lusts and toothaches and hemorrhoids and all the stuff of this world, but there's a tiny part of us that knows it's all right, and that makes all the difference. Amidst all the old stuff and craziness of our normal lives, we begin to focus our energy on the things that help to lighten our karma, quieting our minds, serving others, remembering not to get so lost, having faith in the way life works. In prison, the daily dramas can get very heavy. Somebody comes up to start a fight, for example. If your own mind is centered and quiet, you see that they're just creating more karma for themselves and that you're experiencing karma from your own balance sheet. If you get sucked up into their whole drama, your part will live on just like theirs. But if you can handle the whole thing without so much anger or fear, whether you talk them out of it, defend yourself, or whatever you need to do, then you've finally broken the cycle and have come one step closer to your enlightenment. Neem Karoli Baba used to say, "Do whatever you must with people, but never shut anyone out of your heart, even for a moment."